All right, everybody, welcome to the KarQ, the KarQ Archive channel, my second channel where we talk about Overwatch, have gameplay, tier lists, etc., etc. Today, we have the Overwatch experimental patch notes, November 30th, 2021. But what is unique about this experimental patch? Well, this is going to be over-the-top balance changes coming from content creators. Violet was in my break tip video doing support heroes, Flats doing tank, and Sombra doing DPS. Now, I need to reiterate, this is a over-the-top, fun experimental mode similar to the April Fool's balance changes. None of these are intended to be competitive. They're for fun and to give us content and a fun mode to play, because with this card, there is going to be an experimental card creator cup. This is to promote creators, to get the community involved and have a good time. There is money on the line. $5,000 for first place in multiple regions. Tournament begins December 10th, 11th, and 12th. It's going to be a blast. This will be linked in the description below to read up on and to sign up. There should be a link to game battle somewhere down there too eventually. Okay, and with that being said, let's go over what the creators gave inputs on. It starts off with tank, so this is what Flats had in mind for this mode, starting with D.Va. D.Va's quick melee damage is now 100. Obviously, we know D.Va can boost into people and melee to cancel her booster jet, and this is going to make that combo even deadlier. Going to increase the defense matrix by 10%, a little bit larger. Boosters duration is going to be increased from 2 to 4 seconds. So instead of flying for 2 seconds, you can actually zoom across the map, go super fast with a 25% speed, and melee someone at the end for 100 damage for some big combos. Throw in the micro missiles in there, and you're probably killing every squishy hero in the game. But is every hero even squishy anymore? As we scroll down, we'll probably see some heroes get some big buffs in their own regard too. So this is definitely over the top. This is Assassin D.Va. And now ejecting out of the mech ejects you at 15 meters per second up and 10 meters per second at the direction you're holding. So if you get ejected, you can actually fly out like a Mobile Suit Gundam and actually just do a little pose. Absolutely crazy with D.Va. With Orisa, her health is now changed from 200 and 250 armor to 1 health and 399 armor, which makes her extra beefy. 1 white HP bar, 399 yellow, and now she wears a Christmas hat. Now this is probably the most important change, let's be real here. Protective barrier, the health is going to be reduced, so less shielding, 300 shield, lower cooldown, but it is 300, but she's inherently a lot tankier against low instances of damage with the armor. But now she's actually going to be played as a go in there with the tankiness, no longer slowed while shooting primary fire, duration of fortify increased, although you now can be headshot, and her halt is at 4 seconds, which means get in there, throw a halt down. You're super tanky. Fortify kind of balances it out a little bit. Not so much shielding, but as long as you can hold primary fire, it's basically promoting the battle cattle play style, which some of you guys already play. Crazy. Reinhardt, we have the armor health increase from 200 to 225. So his total is now 525. Okay. Little buff here. Buffing a shield bag. Now this is definitely a Flats. I feel like some of these are over the top, but I feel like there is some truth to what Flats wants on his main hero, Reinhardt here. 2000 HP shield, reduction of damage from each fire strike. Now is 2 charges with faster projectile speed. Okay, this one is a bit over the top, but this is actually an Overwatch 2 change that he's implementing anyways. Earth Shatter. Now he's going to bring it back from the 2.5 to 3. This is what it used to be. I know he's been very adamant about the nerf back in the day to 2.5, which kind of ruined the shatter for him. And now it deals 400 damage in a 1.5 meter radius impact point. 400 damage. I think Earth Shatter right now does what? 100? Oh my goodness. This is an instant kill. And they're stunned. If you land a shatter, they're just dead. Blocking an Earth Shatter now plays the voice line, "You shame yourself." Oh, beauty. That's good. That's a flex. Rein diff right there. And blocking an enemy Earth Shatter now shows up in the kill feed. This would be I was thinking maybe this would be good in Overwatch 2 or as a quality of life change, but I think not. I think cluttering the UI or the kill feed is probably a bit too distracting, because right now lamp shows up on it, the Baptiste lamp if you break it, D.Va demeching. A lot of stuff can happen really quick. I don't know, this might be too much info. I wish there was an individual setting for every hero where you can turn on or off what you want to show up or not. Do you want lamp to show up? Do you want the demech D.Va to show up? Do you want blocking earth shatter and little things like that? Eating stuff as D.Va's matrix. And now his knockback resistance is going to be increased so he doesn't get booped around. This might be done to compensate for the other heroes that are going to have some insane knockback probably. Okay, Roadhog actually nerfing his health to 500, and his damage from his pellets are going to be reduced to 5. Although, to make up for it, he's actually going to be doing 70 damage for a hook, rewarding the hook playstyle, not so much a spammy playstyle. His healing is going to be nerfed a little bit to 50 HP, but you have new utility with his whole hog, which now lifts him upwards if he points it downwards, so he can basically rocket jump without rocketing. He can pellet jump. That seems awesome. Sigma health increased from 300 to 400, his white health, so he still has 100 shield, like blue health, which makes it 500 total. That's a buff. Sigma is now able to hold jump while airborne to slow his descent. So I think this is when he's airborne as it's kind of like Guardian Angel, I believe. You get to lay down there and slow yourself down as descent. Experimental barrier. This ability is now disabled. It is experimental after all. So he's losing his barrier. What on earth? He's a floaty, flanking, attacking hero now. Accretion damage increase, explosion increase. It's acceptable to deflect and reflect as a defense matrix and probably Genji deflect. He now uses his yes voice line after every use. It's cute. And his kinetic grasp is actually reducing the cooldown from 12 to 8, and his movement speed while holding the suck is going to be thing. So yeah, he's basically, without the shield though, you're basically a bit tankier, a bit more damage around the board, but now you can float, so you're going to be hopping around in the back line being like a little frog and going ham on the back. That's going to be good. Winston, knockback effects are now 30% less effective against Winston, and he now deals more damage to deployables. Yeah, that's good. If they set up a sentry trap on the point, you can at least flick to it and probably break it instantly. Knockback effects are, so he's less boopable if he jumps in and gets booped by Brig. Now the jump back deals 100 damage to enemies within 4 meters of the launch location, and he goes faster. This is going to mess up people's timing and muscle memory probably. And his primal rage health bonus is now, oh my god, 1000. It used to be 500 plus his base 500. Now he's going to have 1500 health when he pops primal. Does a lot of damage, and he doesn't get booped back as far. He's going to be a force to be reckoned with. Ball. Max duration of the grapple claw, so you can't just grapple onto something forever. That's a nerf. Jump height from his roll increased by 100% though. Ooh, and full speed. So the fireball damage does 40 instead of 50, but he can change directions a lot more control. Pile driver does, the minimum damage is reduced, so it's nerfed there. The maximum damage is nerfed, but the cooldown is lower, and it can be used from a lower height. Adaptive shield granted per target, so it's less shielding. Duration actually increased, so it lasts longer, but it usually gets melted, so this isn't really that big of a deal. And cooldown reduced. I don't know, I feel like comparatively to stuff like D.Va was really wacky. This one feels more like a nerf to his overall playstyle, although you might have some fun. This is just making it fun though, with the higher jump height and stuff like that. So I don't know, we'll have to see. Zarya, particle cannon, primary fire, minimum damage increase, buffing him, because buffing her, sorry. Zarya is actually in a pretty bad state right now in the real game, competitive game. She's pretty weak. No longer hurts herself. Okay, we stand the rocket jumping Zarya gameplay. Alt fire knockback increase too. Okay, so we're really going with the knockback style. Bigger bubbles on both ends, and the health of the bubble is actually made bigger too. That's cool. Zarya will seem a bit more fun now. Amongst all the tanks, these were what Flat suggested for the tanks. I will say D.Va seems the craziest with this. And I can't wait to see people flying pigs. When pigs fly, whatever that movie is. Okay, let's move on to damage. Coach Gun has 2 charges. That's actually quite good. What's the cooldown of the recharge of Coach Gun? I don't know. It doesn't say it here. We'll have to find out. Dynamite cooldown is actually nerfed. Hip fire recovery reduced from 0.2. Okay, so that's actually a buff. It's a little bit, she'll feel a bit quicker to shoot. and aim down sight, you don't slow down as much while you zoom down. So this is cool. This is cool. This is not as outrageous as some of the tank changes. Sombra went a little mild so far as I could tell. Cassidy, Peacekeeper. Second was this. Oh, the combat role now airborne. This was actually an intended or an experimental change a while ago in the real competitive game, but then people realized that that's kind of OP, so they got rid of it. You can kind of do a tech to do it right now too, in a weird way. It's in my one obscure tech video, but now it just makes it usable. Flashbang actually nerfed and more tumbleweeds when you use Deadeye. I don't know what's happening here. Does this mean you can only secondary fire, only fan the hammer? Is this what this means? I'm not even sure. Bastion, bullet spread reduced, so he's actually a bit stronger, and he gets 100 armor. This is also quite mild. Doomfist, actually reducing his base health, but he gets more from passive by hitting stuff, and landing time after confirmation. So he actually drops, the meteor strike is actually dropping faster, so he can secure kills. Okay. Wall climbing speed increased by 50%. This is actually kind of cool. And then wall climbing now refunds double jump. This is the old Genji 2016. Double jump, touch the wall, double jump, touch the wall, double jump, touch the wall. Non-stop. And now his shurikens will be a little bit faster. Less recovery time in between the shots, which means it goes a bit quicker. Feels a bit smoother. This is cool. I loved old Genji, and I kind of miss this. Hanzo, now storm arrows ricochet. Okay, so this is the wildest change out of everything so far. It felt Sombra was being mild until he went to Hanzo, and he's like, yeah, scatter arrow. Storm scatter, baby. And now you can lunge pretty quickly. So he's going to be lunging every 3 seconds, firing some ricochet shots. This is kind of cool. This will make this this hero fun. This is going to be the meta pick, I think. People are going to mess around with this one. Junkrat, grenade count increased by 100%. So double. Total mayhem is his passive when he dies, but this won't matter if you never die, so just don't die. Frag impact launcher, impact damage reduced to, okay, so the damage impact is reduced, minimum explosion is educed, kappa. So this is actually nerf, huh? Sombra doesn't like Junkrat, confirmed, but he's buffing the mine and reducing the minimum damage. Oh, this is like nothing. No changes to Junkrat. Pharah, holding crouch while airborne increases falling speed. This actually should be a real change onto Pharah to have better control. Like if Cassidy high noons and you could just press crouch to drop really quickly, that'd be fantastic. You can do this as Mercy, by the way. I feel like some people don't know that. If you hold spacebar as Mercy in Valkyrie, you obviously can fly up. But if you hold control, you actually start descending faster. So this should be on Pharah too. I think this would be kind of cool. To give her more aerial control. Concussive blast, minor reduction on this. Not much changed with this. This is just better quality of life change. Makes her feel a bit more fluid. Reaper, movement speed increased by 40% for 6 seconds after ending. So as soon as he shadow steps, he's going to be super quick. Go on the flank. Pellet spread reduced, so he's just getting a pure buff. Soldier, sprinting now reloads the heavy pulse rifle after 3 seconds of sprinting. That's actually a really cool change. Go on the flank, shoot, unload your clip, and then sprint away, and you don't have to waste time reloading. That's going to make him feel more fluid as well. Tac visor increases the damage by 10% as well, because you can't headshot, so I guess they're doing this. You can't headshot, but you can't miss, and it does 10% more. Looks pretty good. Affected targets now take 20%, for Sombra, sorry. Affected targets now take 20% increased damage from all sources for 3 seconds. What is this, Overwatch 2? From all, this is just Discord orb in hack form, but the cooldown is increased, though. It's fair. And then reduction of the machine pistol. Teleporter increased movement speed by 50% for 1.5 after taking it. That's pretty good too. Rivet gun recovery time reduced, so this makes him shoot a bit quicker, more fluid. Hammer does more damage, hell yeah. The hitbox of the hammer is awful though. That's why getting hammered as Torb feels great. Or it feels good if you're the Torb, feels bad if you get embarrassed on the other end, because every time you swing, you'll notice you miss 99% of the time because the hitbox is tiny. Overload. Also, it not only gives you speed and faster attack speed, and now increases the hammering damage so you can flex on people. Torb is a pure flex hero in this experimental card, and the damage from the turret is actually reduced, so he's less, starts with an O, I can't remember what the word is. Oppressive. Tracer, now restores all blink charges after recall. Oh my god, wait. Triple blink into recall into triple blink again. This is going to be crazy for high level Tracer players in this experimental card. And you have more ammo. Okay, now after Tracer, we have Widowmaker. Widow's Kiss, a fire, automatic fire minimum damage after fall off increase from 3.9 to 5. Okay, so like If you're SMGing, if you're playing Widow 76 from distance, it'll do a bit more damage. Same here. And now it resets grappling hook if you infrasize. So you can grapple up, take a shot, pop your ultimate, grapple up again, go for a second shot. But other than that, not much changes. Okay, in summary, Somju's DPS changes felt a lot more like real balance changes, other than a few of them. Some of them are a bit OP. I think Hanzo and Tracer might be the biggest winners if we're going by real competitive. Like if you want to just win in this experimental card tournament, because again, there is a tournament for this. By pure strength picks, Sombra for the 20% Discord, Tracer, and maybe Hanzo might have the biggest dubs. All right, let's go to the supports, because Violet chose these ones. For Ana, eliminating sleeping targets resets the cooldown. So if you sleep someone and you confirm the kill, you get your sleep dart back. That is fantastic. And now you can self nano. Thank God. I love this. I love this. Baptiste, biotic launcher, healing grenades now. Okay, this is OP. This is really crazy. Regen burst now damages enemies instead of allies. Wait a minute. So you can't regen, so he's less healing for his teammates. He heals himself. Regen burst does a bit of damage. I don't know what the damage number is. And Exo boots now does 40 damage within 4 meters. So you get a little stomping damage. This is just flanking. Go on the flank, Baptiste. Dude, I love this too for this. This is a wild change. This one seems like a real balance change to Ana that I'd be down for. This is a wild Baptiste change, and I'm a support biased player because I'm a support main. This is gonna be fun. I'm gonna play this on the card. Brig no longer heals allies. Whoa! Instead, triggering Inspire now reduces the cooldown of Repair Pack by 0.5 with 5 packs. Oh. You guys know Violet is a Brig main, so I think Violet actually thought of this as a as like a real competitive balance change, because Inspire's range is kind of ridiculous. You just kind of hit somebody and everybody just gets healed without really much work. If you hit someone, you get rewarded by just getting a cooldown reduction, and you actually have to choose who to Repair Pack, which gives Brig a bit more skill. Kind of cool. Sound Barrier reduced by 30%. Sound Barrier is one of the most expensive ultimates. I'm fine with this, and now deals massive damage to enemies Lucio land. So if you stomp them, like if you beat on top of someone's head, that's actually fantastic. Sonic Amplifier fire rate increased by 15%, so you can shoot faster while wall riding. After 1 second of wall riding, this bonus is reduced. So it's 7.5 seconds if you keep staying on the wall. Oh, so what you're gonna do is you're gonna go on the wall, shoot your faster fire rate, hop off, hop back on. Just kind of like wall skim, and then you can keep it at 15%. So this is actually a skill addition. Based on my understanding of this. Looks pretty cool. Killing blows extend the duration by 3 seconds. So Battle Mercy, come on out. Healing staff actually reduced to 40 HP per second, so it gets nerfed over time to kind of promote less like pocket one player the whole game and actually switch it around. Okay. And Resurrect can now be canceled using secondary fire, refunding 50%. This is also a cool skill change too. I actually think this should be 60. 60, which reduction to 40 across maybe, yeah, 2 seconds would actually be a legit change. A higher based start to encourage flicking it. This is like a situational change, would be kind of cool. And this is actually a cool balance change. Moira, Biotic Grasp's healing now consumes her own health if used while out of energy. That's actually a pretty cool skill. This is a skill thing. Resource management. Allies that receive at least 100 healing from Biotic Orb are cleansed of all status effects if they're getting hard pocketed by it. Enemies that suffer at least 100 damage from it are now slowed by 30%. And now cleanses status effect from Moira passes through and players around her when it ends. This was actually an experimental thing that they tried to implement in the game back in the day, and Violet said, fuck it, let's put it back in the game. This is really OP. Cleanses status effects that they pass through. So basically, if Mei uses a Blizzard and someone's frozen, you fade and you pass through them, and then they'll be unfrozen. They can walk away. This could work for Sleep Dart. This should not be in the real game. This is less of a balance change. This one's a bit out there for sure. And Zen, damage amp. Okay, Discord's nerfed to 20, but you can apply it to deployables. Cool. No longer reveals position through line of sight. True. Line of sight return time. So that basically if you break line of sight of the Discord, it'll come back to you, so you don't have like the 3-second forgiveness, okay, of keeping a Discord on them. Same with, this is a nerf to Harmony Orb as well, and Discord. And nerfed here, minor buff, nerf. Healing reduced, nerf. Now applies discord to nearby enemies. So during Transcendence, if you pop Transcendence in a group of enemies, they're all discorded. This is a cool buff. But these are like, this is just like a one-time thing when you use Transcendence, like maybe 1 or 2 times in a King of the Hill round, versus like overall gameplay, he's nerfed across the board. So I can confirm Violet hates Zen. Okay, overall, there's a fine balance between these changes. Some are really outrageous. Some are actually legitimate balance changes. In short, if I had to give them a could be legit versus purely experimental, purely experimental, purely experimental. Earthshatter is purely experimental. Everything else could be legit. Roadhog, purely experimental. This is just not encouraging just a chain hook style gameplay. Yeah, maybe could be real. Whole hog, purely experimental. You know, I take that back. This would be a cool tech to kind of add to his arsenal to make him a bit more flex. You know what? I changed. Roadhog could be potentially good balance changes. Sigma, purely experimental. Losing his shield, it is experimental. Nah. His current playstyle is pretty cool right now. You just gotta tweak the numbers. I still think Sigma's a little OP, but yeah. Winston, purely experimental. 1500 HP, less knockback, 100 damage, faster thing. Nah, this is a bit too much for Winston if it were purely competitive. So this is experimental. Ball feels it feels like Flats went for a competitive change here. Basically, don't grapple and spin forever. Less adaptive shield because that's annoying. Less pile driver stuff. Less boop stuff. Make it more fluid. I think this is just, it is his balance change, but I don't like it. I think that's too much nerfs to Ball. Zarya, this is purely experimental with that knockback and stuff. But everything else feels like a real balance change because I feel like Zarya does need help right now. She's a little weak, all things considered. Sombra went with the more competitive style. This is pretty cool. Good. This is probably too much because there should be a penalty for aim down sight, but I can see where he's going with this. This one is probably the biggest change. Double coach gun. Cassidy, I actually don't know what this means, like I said, so maybe it's a secondary fire only. More tumbleweed. This is kind of insane. This is purely experimental. Bastion feels like a true competitive change. Could be legit. Same with Doomfist. Could be a legit competitive change. Although 0.05 seconds to drop. Sorry. 0.05? I thought it was 0.5. Okay, this is purely experimental. You're literally just dropping on like a Saiyan pod. Like Vegeta and Raditz are here and the Saiyan pod is dropping on your head. You don't have time to react to this. You're actually just dead. Okay. This one is purely experimental. This was nerfed for a reason back in the day. It's super fun to play, but kind of just ridiculous that you just stay in the air. Like you're more airborne than actually flying heroes, if you think about it. This is legit. This could be a real balance change, Shuriken. Come on. Scatter arrow. Experimental, but fun as hell. This is too much. Experimental. Not real competitive. Junkrat overall feels like everything here can actually go into the game. Pharah, this should be in the game. And these can all 3 of these can be a real competitive change. Shadow Step, this is too much. 40% speed for 6 seconds. Nah, he's just getting into the backline way too quick for the one shot with a damage buff too. This is purely experimental. This actually seems kind of cool for Soldier, making him flanking style. Visor, in Overwatch 1 could work right now. Overwatch 2, this would be way too OP because there's less shields and defense matrix and tanks to kind of soak up the damage. So, cool. This is a legit change in Overwatch 2. Remember, taking more damage from all sources after hacking them. So, legit. And buffing her gun could be legit, but I think it's at a good place right now where we stand. This one could be a legit change for Symmetra as well. Torbjorn, faster fire rate on the gun seems kind of ridiculous. Chucking Cheetos with no damage drop off. Kind of too good for real competitive. This could be fun for real competitive, the flex, because the hitbox is already awful. So if you flex on the hammer, why not? Same with this. And turret, I like this. Less turret damage for me. Thank you. I'll take this any day. Tracer, this is a bit too OP for real competitive change. This is purely experimental. More ammo, too many blinks. Some grid tracers already feel like they have 20 million blinks if they manage it well. So now she's going to be crazier. These Widow changes could be legit. Both of them are good. These Ana changes could be legit. Both of them. This BAP change is a little too wild. This is purely experimental. Regen burst doing this. Nope. DPS BAP. This could be a legit change for Brig. Sound barrier. Could be legit. Maybe 20% or 25%. 30% seems kind of insane. I like the Sonic amp change and then like the cool tech for landing on top of them. I dig it. I dig it. This could be legit. Maybe buff this to 60 HP, and this could be legit. All these could be real balance changes. Moira, I like this one and this one for the real game. The Fade one is too OP. That's experimental. And all of these are just huge nerfs to Zen. He's already squishy as is. I thought he'd get an HP buff or something, but he's going to get owned by the 0.1 second Doomfist or the 6 blinking Tracer. You're just not going to win. None of these can really go into the game. These are all just kind of too much of a nerf. But oh yeah, this is a cool experiment. Again, remember, all for fun. None of these are going into the real game. I was just speculating what could be potentially in the game, but they're not going to really take my advice or anything like that, right? So remember to sign up for the tournament and have a go at it. It'll be fun. All right, that's the experimental creator patch. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you guys next time.